Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Around the Piano. I'm Tim Paul, and behind the scenes today, we've got Nico and Aldrin. We got a double feature there. Hey, guys, how you doing?
Doing good today. Thanks, Tim, for asking. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. This is fun. I'm really excited about today's show. I can't wait to get started with this one, but we want to let everybody know that Around the Piano is sponsored by Piano Trends Music Company, Crystal Lake. That's pianotrends.com. Where you can get any instrument that you want. You can get lessons. You can get repair service on any instrument. It's a one-stop shop for the music community in town here. And also 216 Creators Studios, who the big thing behind the shows here at 216 Creator Studios, where you want to like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. So let's get started right away. We've got a very special guest, one of the guests that I'm most excited to have. And I don't say that often, do I, Nick?
No, you don't.
No, I don't. But Frank Mueller, who literally is the voice of Buddy Holly. So let's welcome John. Come on aboard with us here, and welcome to the show.
Welcome. Good to be here.
Excellent. Now, you have been doing a Buddy Holly tribute with the Winter Dance Party now for many years. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's I can't believe it, but we started in 1999 on the 40th anniversary of the original Winter Dance Party tour. We went around and did the exact same routing that they did, which was pretty crazy. And but I just wanted to see what the hardships they went through and the long drives and stuff. And I kind of realized firsthand why they wanted to charter a plane just to get ahead, But yeah, we've been doing it since 1999, and it's been amazing.
Well, that's awesome. And I think one of the coolest things is that Buddy's wife, Maria, actually endorses your show, and she hasn't done that with any other Buddy Holly tribute. She's been very protective of his legacy.
So yeah, she actually even came on one of our tours once. It was pretty amazing.
That's very cool. That's very cool. So recently you did something really special in Clear Lake, Iowa. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we this last 8 or 9 days ago, we were at the Surf Ballroom in Clear Lake, Iowa. That was, of course, the last place the Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, the Big Bopper ever played at. And we were there on February 2nd, which was the last exact same date that they played. And it was really neat because it was also a ribbon cutting ceremony for the brand new museum they have there, which is this beautiful interactive museum. It's pretty amazing. They have this whole presentation that shows aspects of the grueling tour that they were on, and real footage, and just a bunch of memories and stuff from the Surf Ballroom, and then a little bit of history of the Surf Ballroom, which I didn't realize. The original one burned down, and then they built another one. And then that many times it was changed ownership because it was going bankrupt and stuff. And it's only probably in the last 20 years that it's been going strong with the new ownership and stuff. But yeah, your listeners should really check out that museum down there. It's pretty neat. I also gave them on loan a wallet that Buddy made that I have, I own. It's one of Buddy's earliest leather making objects that he made, and he was really getting into making leather items. Like he made a leather case for his acoustic guitar, and also made some wallets. And I had one of the wallets, so I put that for them to display in the museum as well. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that's fascinating. I definitely know we want to get out there ourselves, but I would encourage all of our listeners to make a trek to Clear Lake, Iowa. It doesn't sound very exotic, but if you're a rock and roll fan or rock and roll history fan or Buddy Holly fan or the Big Bopper or, Richie Valens, it's someplace that you want to go and visit. Now, I was interested in, because I just found out, when we were talking before the show, that Buddy Holly was into making leather objects. I was not aware of that. So you have his wallet. What?
Yeah, it was one of his earlier efforts, and he was also interested in architecture. Like he was into drawing plans and stuff. And I think he was even starting to make plans and draw plans for his own studio in Lubbock, Texas. He was thinking of opening a studio there to produce other artists that he was interested in. He produced Waylon Jennings' very first record, and I think he really enjoyed that process and stuff. He was so creative like that, like very, very creative. And meeting up with Norman Petty was Norman Petty was kind of like the George Martin for the Beatles, where it was just this perfect meld of creativity that worked really well for Buddy.
And he did all this before the age of 22.
I know, amazing. Just such a wide variety of work too, which is so impressive.
Yeah,
those beautiful ballads like "True Love Ways" and "Raining in My Heart," and
yeah.
oh gosh, the list goes on and on. It's just amazing recordings.
Well, yeah, "True Love Ways" is a classic, and I learned recently that was one of the songs that he had obviously written and recorded, but he had never performed that song live anywhere.
That's correct. There's quite a few songs that we do in our show that he actually never did live. I don't believe he ever did "Every Day" live because it had a Celeste solo section in it, which I don't think Joe B or J.I. was able to play. So they never did that song live, but we do that live. My very talented band there, they play the actual solo from that song on the Celeste, and a couple other songs. I don't think he ever did "Not Fade Away" live either. But yeah, it's interesting. Of course, a lot of those songs that he released, he just never got a chance to perform live because a lot of those shows, he would come out and do 3 or 4 songs, mainly the songs that were currently hits on the radio or that he was trying to promote. So,
right.
Those Alan Freed show of stars, they'd have like 15 different artists, everybody from like the Everly Brothers to Chuck Berry to Buddy Holly, Fats Domino, and they would all come out and just do 2 or 3 songs at most. So
Sure.
It's pretty interesting the way they presented those shows like that. I just can't imagine the cost of that in today's world would be astronomical.
It would be horrendous. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I find it fascinating too because Buddy Holly was obviously a trailblazer in many ways for future people in the music industry. For one, back at that time, people didn't really play and record their own songs. They played other people's songs. Buddy was one of the first to insist on doing his own songs and producing his own show.
Yeah. He really set the model for what a rock and roll band was to be in the future. That's why the Beatles were so heavily influenced by Buddy and the Crickets and the Rolling Stones. I mean, here was a guy that had his own band and wrote his own songs and wrote songs with the band. And they would decide as a group what songs they wanted to do and record. And that was kind of a new thing. Most of the earlier 50s acts, the studio would put together a band for them for the recordings and stuff. And maybe some of those guys would go on tour with them, but they weren't like an official band. So this was, he was very pioneer in all aspects of early rock and roll. He was just really inventive like that.
Yeah, exactly. And again, he had no idea what influence that he was having at the time.
Yeah.
Even, like you mentioned, the Beatles were a big influence. And I've heard stories where even when they came up with their name, that it was influenced by the Crickets. So
that's right. Yeah, that's absolutely right. Yeah.
Coincidence? I think not, right?
Yeah. 2 insects.
That's right. So now Buddy Holly, when he, obviously guitar was his main instrument, but when he wrote songs, did he not use the piano more as an instrument for writing his tunes and coming up with the melodies?
Not that I'm aware of. I talked to his guitar player, Tommy Alsop, that toured with him, and he would mainly work out songs on guitar, but that was the good thing with Norman Petty. His wife, Vi Petty, was an accomplished pianist, and Norman had a few records out there. They were kind of, more, I guess you'd call them adult contemporary songs. They weren't really rock and roll. They're kind of like pop songs, I guess you call them. But Vi was an accomplished pianist, so she played the solo on "Think It Over," and of course the solo on "Every Day." And I think she did the Rave On as well. The solo there, she played the piano on that. So, or no, they recorded Rave On in New York City, so that wouldn't have been her. That was probably a New York studio musician. But yeah, I mean, he was really adept for such a young man on guitar. I mean, a lot of people think when they hear early 50s music, they think it's very easy or simple to play, but there's a lot of details in his music that a typical, cover band or bar band will overlook. And the unique beat in Not Fade Away can give drummers fits, because it's a different thing that J.I. is playing on the kick. That's like bum, 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 bum. And it's just a lot of little interesting details that really make those songs special.
Yeah. It's not simply written. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Now, when you get into character to perform, buddy, do you do this well ahead of a show, or what are your steps that you go through when you're getting ready for a concert and you're stepping into Buddy Holly?
Well, main thing, I don't really, necessarily like get into character like a method actor would or something.
Right.
But I basically, the main thing is I warm up my voice a lot. He had a beautiful timbre in his voice and stuff, so I want to make sure that that's working properly. And then once I get the suit on and the glasses on and then put the Strat on, it just kind of falls into place for me at that point. Yeah. And then I usually come out singing "Maybe Baby" and just getting into it. I just start to feel it, the power of that music. I had a show like 2 nights ago in Marion, Ohio, at this beautiful old Palace Theater, and I started singing. I think it was "Every Day," and I just started getting emotional because I don't know what it was. I felt the lights on me, and I felt like, man, this is what Buddy should be doing right now, and he's not here. And sometimes it really hits me hard, especially if we're playing at one of the original ballrooms that he was at. That can be very emotional for us, or we just kind of feel the specialness of it. And but the main thing I love about it is just the joy this music still brings people. We get a lot of happy people after the show coming up to us, and that really warms my heart.
Well, it does. His music is, for the most part, it's all really feel-good music. You feel good after you listen to a Buddy Holly song, and they're all great songs to sing along with. And I'm sure your audiences sing along to, "Oh Boy," they're going to do that. And I know we have fun at our store at Piano Trends. We do a live stream every day called "Lifting Spirits Through Music," and we have this thing. We'll do some Buddy Holly tunes, not like you, but we do it well enough because we own a music store.
Sure.
But what we do is, if anybody accidentally says "Oh Boy" when we're streaming, we go into and we do a couple verses of "Oh Boy" at the same time. But so it's kind of become a staple of our Lifting Spirits show. But it just shows you the influence that somebody who was so young and didn't even see the 1960s, the influence that he still has today with his music. It's a legacy that won't go away. It's always going to be there.
It's very true. It's sometimes one of his songs will pop on the radio, or if I'm at a store or something, and to me they sound just as fresh as they were when they originally recorded. They just sound so vibrant to me, and they're recorded on that like thick inch tape that you just get that warm analog sound that you don't hear much of that kind of sound today. And so I just love it. Yeah, it's great music.
It is. So let me ask you this. Do you have a favorite Buddy Holly song that you like to perform? What's your favorite song to perform?
I think my favorite song is probably, I love to do, which we don't do all the time, but I love my favorite songs is some of the ones where it was just him and an acoustic guitar, like the last songs he ever recorded in his
Mhm.
apartment in New York City, like Crying, Waiting, Hoping, and
Yeah.
Learning the Game. Um, there's something if you listen to him with just an acoustic guitar, it's such the heart of Buddy's sound and such the heart of his voice that those songs really touch me, and I love doing those. But I do love. I love. I guess if of his hit songs and stuff, or his more popular songs, I probably like doing "Rave On" the best. It's such a great song and such a cool arrangement and stuff. I really love that song.
Yeah, it is. It's great. Another thing where I believe Buddy Holly was again a pioneer in his field was the fact that he was one of the very first, if not the first, to use overdubbing on both vocals and instruments and layering them in his recordings.
Yeah, and again, like very creative and doing stuff that a lot of people weren't doing at the time, or certainly not that much of. Yeah, Norman set up a reverb chamber in this other outgoing office, and they ran speaker wire over there
Hmm.
and a microphone, and so you got this really great haunting reverb effect for Buddy, and he's harmonizing with himself on "Words of Love," and I think "I'm Gonna Love You Too," and a couple other songs which are escaping me at the moment, but yeah, really, really cool stuff that a lot of people weren't doing yet. He was like the only rock and roller at that time I know of that was using a capo on his guitar. And for your listeners that may not be guitar oriented, a capo was this device that you could put on your guitar on various parts of the fretboard that would allow you to play um, in different keys, but keep the strings open and ringing. So, for instance, like on "That'll Be the Day," he does that. He bars the A fret, and but it makes it like he's playing it, and his hands are playing it in the key of E. So he gets these open string sounds, which is just a great ringing sound that he gets, and that was very inventive. Like I can't think of any other person that was doing that at the time. It's very cool.
Yeah, it to me it's always fascinating, and I have thought many times, boy, what music did we miss out on had
I
had he
know,
still been
right?
around
Like
today?
just incredible output. I think his professional career was only 18 months long, and he had all those recordings that are just such a wide variety of material, everything from like country, rockabilly to gospel. Even he did that "Early in the Morning" song, and then
Oh, right.
yeah, and his beautiful orchestrated ballads. It's quite a realm and variety of songs for such a young man in such a short period of time. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Well, what's amazing is you have toured far longer as Buddy Holly than Buddy Holly toured as Buddy Holly, right?
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes I feel guilty about it, but then I think, well, at least we're
Oh,
expanding to the world or keeping the music alive, and hopefully, expanding to new generation of listeners. And we get quite a few youngsters come to our shows now. Their parents bring them or whatnot, and they're really into it. They want to know more about them. They send me emails, questions, and stuff, and so that's always heartwarming to see a new generation of
it
people
really
interested.
is. It really is. And for those listeners who, maybe they're like you're talking about now, just discovering the Winter Dance Party for the first time. How did you first become connected to portraying Buddy?
That's a great question. I have to go back a ways. I was had just moved to Los Angeles, and I'd always been a Buddy Holly fan and loved his music, but I never put two and two together that I would consider performing or whatever. But I remember I answered an ad in the trade papers here. They were looking for somebody that could sing Buddy Holly songs in this play that was kind of a avant-garde type play called Bebopalula. And it was about Gene Vincent and Eddie Cochran, two 50s era rock and rollers that were peers of Buddy's. And they were holed up in an English hotel room, and Buddy comes to them in this like nightmare sequence. And oddly enough, it was produced by Adam Ant of the Doors. I don't know, Adam Ant, and then the Doors, John Densmore. They were the two producers of that.
Wow.
And
Interesting.
yeah, and so I went in and read for that, and they basically cast me on the spot. That was the first time, you know, I don't know if your listeners know how auditions work in the acting world or whatever, but it's usually this long, grueling process where you go in and read, and then they bring you back later to read with other people, and then they bring you back to meet the producer, and then you go through these 3-part process before they say, okay, yeah, you're the right person. So it was interesting to me in my head. I was like, oh, I guess I did something right with this, or they like what I did because they cast me on the spot. And then about a year later, the American Heartland Theater in Kansas City, Missouri, which was owned by Hallmark Cards at the time, they did the first regional production of Buddy, the Buddy Holly Story. It was this musical that came out of England, and they put out a nationwide search for somebody that could play Buddy Holly in the musical. And there again, I just sent them a videotape of me singing his songs, and I did a little bit of the script that they had, and they cast me off the videotape. I couldn't believe it. I was like,
No way. Wow.
yeah. So, and that was kind of the turning point for me. I had been doing little roles here and there in Hollywood, like film and TV. I'd been on quite a few pretty famous shows like Ellen and oh gosh, what was that? Lois and Clark, Superman show, and a couple other shows I did little roles on. But I kind of found the film business not that satisfying. You sit around on a set for 7, 8, 10, 12 hours just to do 2 or 3 lines that are like, really kind of throwaway lines. And then once I started doing that Buddy Holly musical play, like 7 shows a week, and just getting the feedback from the crowd and the live experience, I was like, I think I'm going to focus more on doing this. And so that just snowballed. I started doing that musical, like various different big cities like Chicago, San Diego, and Miami, and did a couple summers in Toronto area too. And then after that, it was around the 1999 that I decided, the part of that play that the audience really ate up and we really liked the best was the last 45 minutes of the show, which was just all concert, which was basically Buddy Holly concert. So I was like, why don't I do like a recreation of the Winter Dance Party with Big Bopper and Richie Valens, and we'll just celebrate the 3 artists that perished, and just do the music, no script, though we do talk to the audience with some anecdotes and history and stuff, but nothing like a play or with props and that kind of stuff. So I did it 1999, first year. I had no idea how I was going to go over, but we drew very large audiences and got great response, and people were like, you're coming back next year, right?
Right.
I was like,
exactly.
oh, I guess I am. And then I thought it was just going to be like a every winter type thing. And then some agencies found out what we were doing and really liked my concert, my whole show. And so they started booking us year round. So it's been pretty much a full-time thing for me ever since.
That's awesome. Tell us a little bit about the gentleman you have on stage with you. You bring them on and you do the Big Bopper and Richie Valens. Tell us a little bit about about those guys? Have those
Sure.
characters changed over the years? Because I believe at one time, did you not have? Was it the son of the Big Bopper that?
Yes, that's right. We had Jay Richardson. He called me one day and he goes, "Hey, John, this is the Big Bopper's son." I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, "Really?" He goes, I want to do your show with you." And so I thought he meant like the upcoming show we had this weekend or something. I go, "Oh, you mean which one?" And he goes, "All of them."
Wow! Wow!
So I was like, "Oh, great!" And that was really cool because he really had this bond with the audience. He was an actual bloodline for the show,
Sure.
where he was the Big Bopper's son. That he never got to meet his dad. Right? He was born in
Right.
April, and his dad perished in February. So, but he does this beautiful song called "Someone Watching Over You." That a lesser known Big Bopper song, but it meant a lot to him. He really got the audience in tears, and he would get emotional, and just really made it a unique experience for the audience. And then his health started failing around 2011 and 12, and then he passed away, unfortunately, in 2013.
Yeah.
And at that point, we got Linwood Sasser here in Los Angeles. I found him, and he's been great. He's very energetic, and he loves doing it. I remember Jay before he passed away. He gave Linwood his blessings, and then as Richie Valens, I've always had Ray Anthony. He used to be in Las Vegas doing the show called The Legends of Concert, and same thing. He called me up one day and said, "God, I can only do two or three songs in Legends of Concert, and they find me if I go over 6 minutes." And so he sent me a videotape of him singing La Bamba and playing guitar, and he actually plays guitar. And so I was kind of blown away. So I said, "Great, come on board." And he's been with us ever since. It's been a great band I have. They're all like really highly acclaimed musicians here in the Los Angeles area, and real fortunate to have them. And they really put on a high energetic show. It's not one of those nostalgia shows where you go just to sit back and relax. You really get involved, and a lot of people get up out of their seats, and you can't help but feel the energy from this music.
Oh, I can attest to that, having seen your show more than a couple of times already. But it is an amazing show. In fact, I think, Aldrin, do we have some shots from some of the concerts, like stills that we could show people here? So there, we've got up on screen there showing a few things there.
Cool. Nice.
And I don't know that we've got any video footage now, but those are available on. Do you have what's your YouTube channel where people could hear some of your performances?
Yeah, they can go to John Mueller Music. At John Mueller Music is my YouTube channel, and there's a bunch of Winter Dance Party demos and highlight reels there and stuff.
Terrific. And Autumn, could we put up the flyer for the concert, and maybe put up? Do we have a QR code for the Rouse Center where people can get tickets for your performance in Crystal Lake, which is coming up on February 20th, a Friday night, at the Rouse Center for the Arts? And you can use the QR code there, or go to rousecenter.org. That's RAUE center.org. And you can get tickets to see John Mueller as Buddy Holly, and he'll have the Big Bopper and Richie Valens there at his side. And it's a great show. Seriously, if you haven't seen it, you want to be there. Don't miss it. And if you've seen it before, you definitely want to go there again, because it's a great evening. You'll walk out and you'll be humming Buddy Holly songs for several days afterwards. That's for sure. But that's awesome. So, John, another question I've got for you. What's one Buddy Holly song that kind of hits differently when you're performing it live versus just listening to it for the audience?
I would say True Love Ways, because I realize how difficult it is perform and sing that song. It's not an easy song to sing and perform, but when you listen to it, Buddy makes it sound so effortless and so smooth and so yeah, just effortless. And that's kind of the genius of all the true artists or the great, even in great athletes or whatever. They always make things look easy or simple, and but then when you attempt it yourself, it's
Yeah, it does. It does sound like more of a simple, ballad. But
yeah, but
I
it's
agree
a
with
really
you.
hard song to sing, and it's got quite a range to it. And that one really, when I first started doing it, I was like, oh man, I got to really work harder on this song because it's not an easy one to pull off. And
Yeah. Yes, you know why.
yeah,
Exactly. Well, this has been great. If there's anything else that we should tell our listeners, audience, especially those thinking about coming to the Rouse Center, what should we let them know about John Mueller?
well, I guess one thing people get confused about sometimes, uh, the term Winter Dance Party was just the name of their tour in 1959. Some people get confused that is this presentation strictly a dance presentation, or is it some kind of party, or it's basically a concert. And the Rouse Center is a beautiful theater auditorium. You can certainly dance in your seats if you'd like, or I think they might even have a little bit of room in front of the stage. I can't remember, but
We do. There's a little bit
yeah,
of that.
yeah, and that's always fun. Audiences tend to start doing that towards the very end of the show, but yeah, just be prepared for a really high energy, fun show, and the music is so infectious that, like Tim said, you'll be humming songs when you leave for the next few days.
Right, exactly. Okay, before we sign off, I'm going to put you on the spot, and you can certainly say no if you'd like to.
Sure.
Okay, so I told you how we do a version of "Oh Boy" on our Lifting Spirits Through Music live stream every day.
Yeah.
But let's Aldrin's behind the camera there today, and now Nick is there too. Put the mic between you two guys. Okay, they're going to be ready, but I want you to sing just the first line of "Oh Boy," and we
Okay.
get to be the crickets for a
All
second.
right. Here you go. You ready?
Okay, we're ready.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Holla my love, holla my kissing. You don't know what you've been a missing, oh boy.
Oh boy!
When you're with me, oh boy.
Oh boy!
The world can see that you were meant for me. Stars
Ta-da, ta-da.
appear and shadows are falling. You can hear my heart a calling. A little bit of loving makes everything right. I'm gonna see my baby tonight. How about that?
That's
Perfect.
awesome. Beautiful.
Get your tickets today, folks.
That's right. Thank you, John, for being with us. We got to have you back on again sometime soon. And you're out in LA, is that correct?
Yeah, I just got back today from
Yeah.
a long tour, and then we're heading back out this Saturday on Valentine's Day. So I get to avoid having to have an expensive Valentine's dinner with my sweetheart.
There you go. There you go. But I'm sure that you'll have to when you get back.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, if you're out in LA, do you ever go to the NAMM show?
Yeah, I love the NAMM show. I'm usually working during those time frames, but yeah, it's great. Are you guys out there sometimes?
We go out there every year. We do podcasts out there and talk with people there. We do interviews for NAMM while we're out there with the Music Oral History Project. And I know they did NAMM did a podcast on Buddy Holly, and he had, at that time, Dan Del Florentino, who operates it out there, he had on some of the original members of, he had on one of the crickets and so forth.
Oh, great.
So it's an instrument. In fact, I'll send you the link for it sometime, and you'll have
Sounds
that.
cool.
But would love, if you're at the NAMM show next year, it's in the last week of January, we'll get together and do this again in person. This would be fantastic.
Sounds good. Be fun.
All right. Well, we'll see you in Crystal Lake in just a few weeks. Thank you, John, for being with us. We appreciate you.
You betcha. My pleasure.